When I was young, my family stayed overseas. I lived in Indonesia for a few years, and my mother, she didn't have the money for sending me. We aren't American kids went to school, but she thought it was important for me to keep up with an American education, so he decided to teach me extra lessons herself. Mondays proved Friday, but because she had to go to work, the only time she could do is work for 4:30 in the morning. But whenever I complained, my mother would give me one of those look. She said it's no picnic for me. It's Easter. So I know that some of you are still adjusting to being back at school, but I'm here today because I have something important to discuss with you. My father left my family when I was 2 years old, and I was raised by a single mom who had to work and who tripled at times to pay the bills and wasn't always able to give us the things that other kids had. There were times when I missed having a father in my life. There were times when I was lonely and I felt like I didn't fit in, so I wasn't always a focus. Yes, I should have been on school and I did something that I'm proud of and I got in more trouble than I should have in my life. And I could easily taken a turn for the worst, but I was lucky. I got a lot of second chances, and I had the opportunity to go to college in law school and follow my dreams. My wife, our first lady, Michael Obama, she was a similar story. Neither of her parents had gone to college, and they didn't have lots of money, but they worked hard, and she worked hard so that she could go to the best school in this country. As in your life, we give you the support that you need. Maybe someone in your family has lost a job and go around neighborhoods where you don't feel safe and have friends who are reassuring you to those things you know aren't right. Maybe you could be a great writer, maybe even good enough to write a book or articles and a newspapers, but you might not know it until you write that English paper. That's in the class paper that's assigned to you. Maybe you could be an innovator. That an innovator may be even good enough to come up with the next iPhone or the next medicine or vaccine, but you might not know it until you do your projects for your science class. Maybe you could be a mayor or a senator or a Supreme Court justice, but you might not know that until you join student government or the debate team. And no matter what you want to do with your life, I guarantee that you need to education to do it. You want to be a doctor or a teacher or a police officer. You want to be a nurse or an architect, a lawyer, a member of military. You're going to need to good education for every single one of those careers. You cannot drop out of school and just drop into a good job. You've got to train for it and work for it and learn for it. And it isn't just important for you, for our life and our future, that you make up your education will decide nothing less than the futures of this country. The future of America depends on you. What you are learning in school today will determine whether as a nation can meet our greatest challenges in the future. You need the knowledge and problem-solving skill you learn in science and math to cure a disease like cancer or AIDS and to develop new energy technologies and protect our environment. You need to insight and critical thinking skill to gain in history and social study to fight poverty and homelessness, crime and discriminations and make our nation more fair and more free. You need to creativity and to develop in on your classes, to build new companies, you create new jobs and boost your economy. We need every single one of you to develop your talents and your skill and your intelligence so you can help us out first. So our most biggest problem, if you don't do that, if you quit on school, you're not just quitting on yourself, you are quitting on your country. I know it's not always easy to do well in school. I know a lot of you have challenges in your life right now. It can make it hard to focus on your schoolwork. I get it, I know what it's like. But at the end of the day, the circumstance of your life, what you look like, where you come from, how much money you have, what you've got going on at home. None of that is an excuse for noticing your hard work or having a bad attitude in school. That's no excuse for talking back to your teachers or cutting class or dropping out of school. There's no excuse for not trying. Where you are right now doesn't help to determine where you will end up. No one's written your destiny for you because here in America you write your own destiny. You make your own future. That's what young people like you are doing every day on across America. That's why today I'm calling on each of you to set your own goals for your education and do everything you can to meet them. Your goal can be something as simple as doing on your homework, paying attention in class, or spending some time each day reading a book. Maybe you decide to get involved in extracurricular activity or volunteer in your community. Maybe you decide to stand up for kids who are being teased or bullied because of who they are or how they look, because you believe like I do that only people deserve a safe environment to study and learn. Maybe you decide to take better care of yourself so you could be more ready to learn. But whatever you resolve to do, I want you to commit to it. I want you to really work at it. I know that sometimes you get a sense from TV that you can reach and successful without any hard work, that your ticket to success is through trapping or basketball or being a reality TV star. Change it. Are you not going to be any of those things? The truth is, being successful is hard. You won't love every subject that you study. You won't click with every teacher that you have. Not every homework assignment will seem completely relevant to your life right at this minute. And you won't necessarily succeed at everything the first time you try. That's okay. Some of the most successful people in the world are ones who've had the most failures. J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter. Her first Harry Potter book was rejected 12 times before it was finally published. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He lost hundreds of games and missed thousands of shots during his career, but he once said, "He had failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeeded." These people succeeded because they understood that you can't let your failures define you, and you have to let your failures teach you. You have to let them show you what to do differently the next time. So if you get into trouble, that doesn't mean you are a troublemaker. It means you need to try harder to act right. If you get a bad grade, that doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means you need to spend more time studying. No one's born being good at all things. You become good at things through hard work. You're not a varsity athlete the first time you play the new sport. You don't hit every note the first time you sing a song. You've got to practice the same principle applied to your schoolwork. You might have to do a math problem a few times before you get it right. You might have to read something a few times before you understand it. You definitely have to do a few drafts of a paper before it's good enough to hand in. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. I do that every day. Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength because it shows you have the courage to admit when you don't know something, and then allow you to learn something new. So find a don't let your trust and parents, a grandparent or a teachers or a coach or a counselor, and ask them to help you stay on track to meet your goals. And even when you are struggling, even when you are discouraged, feel like other people have given up to you, don't ever give up on yourself, because when you give up on yourself, you give up on your country. The story of American isn't about people who quit when things got tough. It's about people who kept going, who try harder, who love the country too much to do anything less than their best. Story of students who sat where you sit 250 years ago and went on to waste a revolution, and they founded this nation. Young people, students who sat where you sit 55 years ago who overcame the depressions and work world, who fought for civil rights and put a man on the moon. Student who sat where you sit 20 years ago who founded Google and Twitter and Facebook and changed the way we communicate with each other. So today I want to ask all of you, what's your contribution going to be? What problem are you going to solve? What discovery will you make? What will a resident who come here in 20 or 50 or 100 years say about what owns up to this? Now, the family, your teachers, and I am doing everything we can to measure how educated you need to answer the question. I'm working hard to fix up your classroom and get you the book and the equipment and the computers. You need to learn foreign. I want you to get serious this year. I expect you to put your best efforts into everything to do. I expect rating from each of you. So don't let us down. Don't let your family down or your country down. Most of all, don't let yourself down. Make us on route.